Hello and welcome back to another video. Today is year number 6 of the Habs franchise, and I'm going to go over the lines very quickly. I really want to see what this team can do this year, as we've taken a bit of a decrease in overall, but we've gotten a bit younger. So I'm just curious to see how good this team will play with a couple guys still developing. So we have Ivan Demidov with Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield. We have Zorovsky with Kirby Dach and Juraj Slafkovsky. Then we have Anthony Mantha, Michael Hage, and Bobby Brink. And we have Seneca, Mason West, and Marcus Nomark. On defense, we have Hudson, Dobson, Kumanyatov, Dickerson, Riker Evans, and David Reinbacher. And in net, we have Fowler and Grosjean. We have no substitutes. And the AHL, we're going Beck, Mooney, Sundberg, Kapanen, Bronick, Waugh, Harris, Swear, Koivu, Van Ryk, Bellini, and Jacky. Defensively, Jacky, Kubiadic, Struble, Trudeau, Protz, and Bryce Pickford. And with our captains and A's, I'm going to give a captain to Nick Suzuki, an A to Cole Caulfield, and the other A is going to go to none other than Juraj Slafkovsky on that second pairing, or on that second line, as he is our second line center. Um, and I'm going to go straight to the trade deadline here, and hopefully we can, maybe be a much better team than we were last year. I mean, I doubt we will be, but hopefully we will be pretty decent. We will see how Marty thinks this season would get. And I completely forget to ask him what his season goal is. That is a complete blunder on my end, but I will catch you at the trade deadline. With all the moves we made last year, I honestly did not ever see us being in the spot we're in right now, but we are first in the Atlantic Division and second in the entire league. And to be honest, I am at a just loss for words. Honestly, I don't even really know what to say right now besides for this team is playing so well, and it is so surprising on my end. Like, Suzuki has 79 points. Zorovsky has 43 goals. Suzuki has 58 assists. Fowler has 37 wins, which leads the NHL. Zorovsky and Caulfield are both top 10 in goals. Uh, Suzuki's top 10 in assists. Um, and we have the second most goals for. We have the best goals against average per game. We have the fifth best power play, the second best penalty kill, and I honestly don't really know much else to say besides for I'm completely shocked at where we're really at right now. Because I definitely did not see us, after all the moves we made, being so good off the start. Like, Zorovsky has 76 assists, 76 points on that second pairing. He's playing so well to start off this year. Caulfield's also at 76. Demidov's at 69. Slavkovsky's at 66. Hudson's at 59. Hudson already has his most, pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, the most points he's had in a season since, well, I mean, he had 71 last year, but he's on pace for more points than last year, and he's on pace. He already has a career high in goals as well. He is playing at a pretty much point per game pace right now, which is insane to see. And then we have Kirby Dach at 46, Bobby Brink at 40, Dickinson at 37, Hage at 34, Dobson at 33, Mantha at 28, Seneca at 19, Nomark at 17, Reinbacher at 17, Kumaatov at 17, Mason West at 15, and Riker Evans at 14. And 14 points is the least amount of points on our team. Grosjean is playing really well as well. He's at a 9.25 save percentage with a 219 goals against average, and he's 6-2-2. Fowler is 37, 13, and 1 with 4 shutouts already. Um, I think I gotta go out and get, somebody to replace Anthony Mantha at the deadline. If I can go out and get somebody to replace Mantha, that'd just be great, but I don't really know if I want to make very many trades here. Our team is playing so well, I don't really know if making a trade is really worth it. Um, I will go and look at some players, but he'd have to be somebody better than Anthony Mantha here, making less. Like, could get a Patrick Laine. Not really interested in. Um, there's not Jaeger Furtus, maybe? Jaeger Furtus, maybe? I'm just not really too sure where I really want to go in this direction because we're playing so well. I think I'm just going to stick with what's rolling and, stick with what's hot because this team is playing unbelievable. Um, and I don't really know what else to say besides I'm just kind of shocked at how well they're playing right now. So I'm going to leave the team as it is at the trade deadline. Might be a hot take there, but we're not really losing games, so might as well keep with what's rolling. Um, so I'm gonna sim now to the end of the season and see if we can pick up the President's Trophy along the way, as we're competing with the Sharks right now for the President's Trophy. Another 6-2 win, big win right there. Buffalo and Boston a back-to-back, 1-0 win, another shutout. A 6-4 loss, it's unfortunate we were probably playing. Grosjean, how do you... Adam Grosjean? I'm gonna go with Grosjean. I'll go Grosjean. It's gonna be like a compilation at the end of the video of me just trying to say his name properly for an hour. We have 51 wins on the season, which is more than we had last year. And in years before, I remember when we hit 50 wins, that was, remarkable achievement. Still a great achievement for us. 54 wins now, you know, hopefully we can get to 60, maybe, potentially, probably not at all. We have 4 games left, hopefully we can get to 59 wins. It'd be great, big win, 6-1, 4-1, 9-4 win, and our last game of the regular season, we have clinched the President's Trophy. That is great to see. So we are the President's Trophy champions in a season where I thought would be a potential playoff miss. We were first in goals for per game, second in goals against per game. Our power play was the 6th best, and our penalty kill was the 7th best. And Zorovsky leads the team in points. Hopefully, if I advance this day, it'll be somebody else, or will it just be Zorovsky? And I will go and check Stats Central. It was Nick Suzuki who leads our team in points at 107, and he hits 70 assists on the season. Zorovsky has 56 goals and 48 assists for 104 points. Caulfield hits 99 points. Demidov hits 99 points for Caulfield, 91 for Demidov, 82 for Uri Slavkovsky, 74 for Lane Hudson. That is a new career high. Kirby Doc at 42, Dickinson at 44, Brink at 35, Dobson at... I'm reading the assists here. Oh, wow. 74 for Lane Hudson, 63 for Kirby Doc. That's a career high. Dickinson, 55, 50 for Brink, 48 for Noah Dobson, 41 for Hage, 36 for Mantha, 30 for Seneca, 28 for Mason West, 28 for Nomark, or 25 for Nomark, 24 for Reinbacher, 24 for Koniata, and 20 for Riker Evans. And in goal, we had 6 shutouts coming from Jacob Fowler, and he almost won 60 games. He had a 907 and a 275 goals against average. Grandjean had a 267 goals against, a 904. No shutouts, but he was 10, 5, and 2 in his 18 games. And with the way this team played, we're going to be playing the worst team to make the playoffs, and that is going to be the Rangers. We're going to play the Rangers in the first round. We had Nick Suzuki finish top 10 in points. We had Zorovsky and Caulfield finish top 10 in goals. We had nobody finish in the top for assists, but Jacob Fowler is the best goaltender in the league, and hopefully he can win the Vezina Trophy this year. That'd be a first for us for sure. But we're playing the Rangers. The Rangers had a pretty bad end to their season with only 1 win. So within the first 2 games, I'm hoping for 2 big wins here. Game number 1 at home. As it's pending, we win 10-1. That is a very big win, and we win 8-1 in our next game. In game number 3, it is a 4-0 win. Another shutout for Jacob Fowler. And in game number 4, I'm assuming it's a 4-1 win, and in Laval, they're down 1-0. They are yet to win anything in Laval, but a big sweep. And most likely we're going to be playing the Toronto Maple Leafs or the Ottawa Senators. It's really one of the two teams we're going to be playing. Sim a couple more days. Hopefully none of those games go to 7. There is a game that went to 7, San Jose, Winnipeg, and we're going to be playing the Toronto Maple Leafs and the San Jose Sharks, the second best team in the league, are out in the first round. A team I was thinking we might be playing in the Stanley Cup Finals is not a team we're playing in the Stanley Cup Finals. Toronto, they just won their series in 6 games. Game number 1 we win 5-0. Game number 2 we win 5-2. Game number 3 we win 5-2 as well. And game number 4 we win 6-5. And I am immediately shocked. We are 8-0 so far in the playoffs. Not really a close game besides for game number 4 of that Toronto series. Um, Again, I'm at a loss for words. In game number 1, we win. In game number 2 against Carolina, it is a loss. Our first loss of the season comes at home. Game number 3 is an overtime win. Game number 4 is a 5-2 win. Game number 6, or game number 5 now, sorry. I said game number 4 was game number 5. Game number 5, we are 11-1 so far. First period, nothing. Second period, 3-1 with a hat trick from Zarovsky, and that is the game. 5-2, and we are off to the Stanley Cup Finals. I'm going to be honest, this was a season I definitely wasn't expecting us to make the finals in. We're now playing the Edmonton Oilers, which is going to be a great series in itself. Um, Jacob Fowler has lost 1 game so far this playoffs, and he is playing lights out. Our team leaders, Zarovsky leads us in goals, and our forward points and goals. Demidov leads in assists, and Sam Dickinson leads in defensive points at 13. Um, Honestly, our stats are insane. We're first in goals for, first in goals against, and 4th power play and second best penalty kill. Um, I really don't know much what else to really say, but this is just a surprise to me. Game 1 loss, Game 2 loss, Game 3 loss, and we are down 3-0 going into Game 4. I am immediately shocked that we have a potential to get swept in the first round, or in the Stanley Cup Finals. McDavid, Draisaitl, and we get swept in the Stanley Cup Finals. Wow, we lose 5-3 in game number 4, and we are swept after having one of the best starts to a playoff run in back-to-back sweeps, dominating the Rangers, dominating the Leafs, losing 1 game to Carolina. We were 12-1 and didn't win a single game after winning the conference finals. Wow. And Connor McDavid is the Conn Smythe winner. If we had won the Conn Smythe, it probably would have went to Jacob Fowler because of how well he was playing. But we just lost in the Stanley Cup Finals in a clean sweep in a season where I definitely didn't think we'd be making the finals or even the 3rd round. So I'm a little bit happy about that, to be honest, to start off with. I'm happy we made the Stanley Cup Finals. A little upset, though, the way we lost. The retired players, though, we have Evgeny Malkin on Ottawa, Claude Giroux, Zach Hyman, uh, Ryan O'Reilly, Jonathan Huberdeau, and Elias Lindholm, all at 1,000 career points. Next, we have Trocheck, Braden Shen, Jeff Skinner, uh, Riley Smith, Shea Theodore, Brennan Saad, Seth Jones, Dougie Hamilton on Dallas, Philip Dino, Victor Arvidsson, Cam Fowler, uh, Burakovsky, Kerfoot, Alexander Kerfoot, Wenberg, Tom Wilson, Nick Paul, Jonathan Drouin, Andrew Cobb, Klenberg, and Ilya Mikheyev. And in net, Frederick Anderson retires. is alongside as Cam Telpid, John Gibson, Peter Mrazek, Landon Brossois, and Vili Husso all retires. And we're off to the draft. Um, honestly, hoping we can win a Stanley Cup here again potentially next year. That really did shock me. Um, we don't have a draft pick for a while, so I will go see our cap space a bit, see which players are at the end of their deal. And Cole Caulfield's at the end of his deal. Ivan Demidov's at the end of his deal. Um, Kirby Dach, Michael Hage, Nomark, Reinbacher, Kumarov, Mooney, Kapanen, Struble, Beck, Harris, Kovic, Waugh, Jackeye, Swayer, Pickford. Um, there's a couple of guys at the end of their deals here. I think I'm going to have to get rid of Sundberg, I'm going to be honest. Get a look for a first round pick or a second round pick for him. Um, just because, we don't really have cap space, or we don't really have space for him to really develop anymore. Obviously, it really sucks. He was a third round pick of ours that really blossomed. So we'll just have to settle with getting somebody in return. Obviously, we're gonna go for a defenseman. Not really an obvious spot, but we gotta go for a defenseman here. 17, 6'3" defenseman, and that is going to be our entire draft. Um, would have liked to get a little bit more of our draft picks, but we didn't really have very many draft picks to begin with. Um, but here we are, pre-sign phase. Um, I'm going to hopefully sign every one of our expiring players, um, which would be nice. I'm going to look at our coaching staff as well to see if there's any coaches we can sign, and that'll be our assistant coach and our goalie coach. Um, we don't really have much left. Yet again, the video footage got corrupt. I really got to figure out what's going on with that. I'm not too sure really what to really do to fix that. But we ended up signing Ivan Demidov to a $14.5 million deal. Um, we traded for Tarnovsky, and we ended up signing him to a $8 million for 4-year deal. We traded him for, I got to go see the active feed players, picks, and signings. We traded UFO and a 4th round pick for David Reinbacher. He was an 80 overall defenseman and a 4th round pick for David Reinbacher. Reinbacher was asking for $6 million at an 83. We decided to let him go. We traded Kumanov, Anthony Mantha, and a 6th to clear up some cap space for a 3rd and a 4th round pick. Then we traded Keyshawn Atkinson. Then we got Keyshawn Atkinson and Par Tarnarski for Noah Dobson, Riker Evans, and then 2 draft picks. And then in free agency, we signed Daniel Boot to a 2-year contract. We signed Caden Gooley to a 4-year deal worth $4.5 million. And we also signed Scott Marrow to a 1-year, $1.5 million deal, or $2.5 million deal. He's an 83. He is pretty good so far. He was a pretty good signing for us. Trevor Zegras, Nicholas Waugh, Pavel Mintakov are all going to Tampa Bay. We also signed Parchinarski, as we showed before. We signed Nicholas Voros to a 2-year deal. He was just he's an 80 overall low elite, and we're hoping we can kind of develop him in the AHL. We got Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen to play as our backup goaltender in the AHL. And then we got Casey Zizekas to a 2-year deal worth $1.5 million deal. And David Reinbacher signs his long-term extension, as well as the contract renewal spots. I will go until we see our team's logo. We did resign quite a bit of guys. I mean, it'd be nice if it would show us. They don't show us. Pretty sick that they do not show us that. But we did get a bit better as a whole team. And I'm going to sim to next season to kind of show what our lines are going to be for the next year's video. Hopefully they're good. I really hope that they are good. Um, as we almost won the Stanley Cup this year, I think that next year we can win the Stanley Cup. Hopefully, we did lose Cole Caulfield though in free agency, which is an unfortunate player to lose. We just didn't have cap space to sign him, and we only have an extra $1 million in cap space. So our lines for next year are Demidov, Slav, and Suzuki. I'm going to try and make that a bit better with Zarovsky, maybe. I'm not sure what I'm going to do really just yet for lines, but I do know that they have to be better. Um, this team really needs to be good this year, I'm going to be honest. Nomark and LJ Mooney just aren't playing, which is great to see. Not at all. Um, Nomark, an 84. We'll see which player has the best face-offs, 60, 60, and a 61 for Seneca. So Seneca will be taking face-offs. Um, or even putting Hage on that bottom pairing, bringing Seneca up. Defensively, Morrow's an 84, so he grew in overall. Dickinson's definitely going up. Never mind, he's not going up. Keyshawn Atkinson's going to go up. Um, maybe there's somebody in Laval we can call up. Nicholas Ewers, the guy we signed in free agency to a league minimum deal, is an 81 now. So I'm going to send down Owen Beck and LJ Mooney. Kind of hope for the best for them. Best lines in the AHL, obviously, and then defensively, Zizekas, see if Boers kind of gives better chemistry. He doesn't really give better chemistry at all. Kind of gonna have to eat a -3, which I don't want to do. Or we can eat -2 on Sam Dickinson or Atkinson. I'm not too sure what I really want to do just yet. We can get a +1 on that bottom pairing with Atkinson and Voros, so +1 and a -3 with Morrow and Voros. Voros is definitely going to have to play in the NHL this year, though, because I do want to see him play to the best ability as he can. He was a St. Louis draft pick. He's a 4th rounder. He's an offensive defenseman. Him playing with Morrow, who's also another offensive defenseman, could lead to a bit of some issues. But Scott Morrow wasn't asking for much money, so bringing him in is a good signing. Keyshawn Atkinson is going to need a contract extension at the end of this year. He's making $2.23 million. Sam Dickinson is probably going to need a contract extension, if I'm not mistaken, in another year from now, so at the end of next year. And Caden Gooley is here for the ride. He's here till the end of our rebuild. Lane Hudson will need an extension at the last year of our rebuild. A Calder and a Stanley Cup for Ivan Demidov. Stanley Cup for Suzuki, Slav, Doc. Chernarski doesn't have any. Zarovsky just has the cup. Seneca just has the cup. Mason West doesn't. Bobby Brink just has the Stanley Cup. Daniel Boot doesn't. Hage doesn't. But Nomark does. Defensively, their awards consists of a Calder and an Stanley Cup. Nothing for Caden Gooley, because we shipped him right before we won the Stanley Cup. Nothing for Sam Dickinson. We traded for him after we won the Stanley Cup. And that rounds out as we only have one Stanley Cup winner in our defensive core. In net, though, we do have our Vezina winning goaltender and Adam Grosjean. And then in the AHL, we have Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, Jacob Dolbish. And then we have a worse forward core, unfortunately. But here's hoping that we can win a Stanley Cup here. I think we can go out and win a Stanley Cup this year. I don't think Edmonton can go back to back. Our captains, though, we're gonna give our A from from Zarovsky. Our A from Zarovsky is going to go to Lane Calder Hudson, and I'm going to change Caden Gooley's number in next episode back to his original number in 21. Actually, I'll do that right now, I guess. 31 is a retired number, so is jersey number 11. I am retiring both of those numbers. So no player will be able to wear number 31 or 11 for the entirety of this rebuild. But that is going to be it for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.